Well, it's a Saturday without football. That's never good, is it? Never good at all to have a Saturday without football. You know, it's only a proper Saturday, isn't it, when you actually have football to watch? Well, football that you want to watch, your team. And Rangers don't play till Sunday away at Livingston in West Lothian. Yes, at that Tony Macaroni Spaghetti Ginocchi Gelato Stadium on that hideously horrible plastic pitch. Which I think should be banned. I genuinely can't see why you'd let teams play on plastic pitches. You're going to let them play on plastic pitches, you might as well play it in the car park outside the stadium. But we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about what Philippe Clement has had to say about that. We're also going to talk about Ross McCausland as well and his fine form and why I think Ross McCausland is worthy of a start over a certain experienced player. More of that to come. But let's start off by talking about what Philippe Clement has had to say about the game against Livingston on Sunday. Now, he talked about the fact that, one of the big talking points, as always, is that plastic pitch. Now, obviously, Rangers didn't do very well on the plastic pitch with Killy. And very much the message that came from Philippe Clement is there are no excuses. It is no excuses whether you're playing on a plastic pitch, whether you are playing on a car park, whether you are playing on a grass pitch. It does not matter. You go, you play the way you can play. You play to the best of your abilities, and you give your all for your team. And it doesn't matter what the pitch surface is, which to some degree is correct. Playing on a plastic pitch is bloody awful. I mean, the bounce is unpredictable. It's unpredictably high at times, and other times it doesn't bounce as high as you think it's going to bounce. The difference in passing the ball on grass to passing the ball on plastic, again, is very different. It is a different way. But you know what? Most professional footballers these days practice, train on plastic pitches as well as grass pitches. They are used to them. They know what they're like. So there can be no excuse there. And Philippe Clement is right with what he says. He talked about the fact that he didn't like plastic pitches and he didn't think that there should be plastic pitches and that all games should be played on grass, which I 100% agree with. Football is a sport to play on grass, not on some plastic man-made surface. Particularly, obviously, as we know, at this moment in time, plastic is bad for us. Plastic's evil, apparently, so we get told on a regular basis. Also, he talked about the fact that as far as he was concerned, he'd be prepared to play Livingston in a parking lot. That was his words, because, at the end of the day, he says his team have to go out there, they have to compete, they have to play to the best of their abilities, they have to be aggressive, play quickly, have a good sound structure, which they have at this moment in time, and, take on whoever it is, wherever it is they're playing them. It doesn't really matter what the pitch is actually like, which I think, is a really good point from Philippe Clement. Philippe is doing a fabulous job as Rangers manager, and I just genuinely get what he's saying here, that it shouldn't matter. There can be no excuses. It has to be about what we do, how we play on whatever surface we're asked to play on. This surface, yes, is absolutely dreadful. I hate plastic pitches. I've played on plastic pitches myself. They are dreadful. They're awful to play on. But unfortunately, in this league, we have two teams with plastic pitches, and they're allowed to have those plastic pitches. There is no legislation that prevents them from the governing body. Hopefully that will come in time. But again, it's a game we've got to win. It is a must-win game, isn't it? Because you're facing a situation again where we lose, and guess what? The league's over again, isn't it? Because you're going in there, several points behind them again, and obviously, even before that second Old Firm game. So for me, it is a must-win. It is must play well, must compete well, must battle well. I think that really is the case. Now, look, Clement, has talked about, he'll talk about this, and he'll talk about what the influence the pitch will have. He'll have them practicing on plastic pitches this week, so I don't understand why, because like I said, all teams have plastic pitches to practice on. So at the end of the day, it really is a non-issue. It's just about Rangers going out there and reproducing the same performance they did against Dundee, the same performance they did against Hearts in the semi-final, the same performance they did against Sparta Prague first half on Thursday. That's the way we need to approach this, and that's the way we need to play. Now, someone who is seemingly pushing for a call to the first team, to a starting place, is Ross McAusland. Now, Ross was fantastic when he came on Thursday night. I thought he was lively. His vision for his passing was excellent. And that shot that was saved by Vindal and his legs, he was everywhere. He was direct, he was quick, he was aggressive. He was everything we're kind of missing in wide players at this moment in time. And look, Ross McCausland is a very, very talented player. And, Philippe Clement has already said that as far as he's concerned, if you're good enough, you're old enough, age should not be a barrier. He's happy to use these players. And Ross McCausland, is getting used. And what was interesting, I think, again on Thursday was the fact he didn't go to Dessers. He didn't go to Roof. He didn't go, to any of his other experienced substitutes. He went to McCausland over any of those. Ross McCausland, he clearly has faith in young Ross. That ball that he put through for Danilo was excellent. He threatened a lot and he brought a real lively side to this game. And look, Ross McCausland is the sort of player I think can have a massive, massive future with this club and could perceivably save us an awful lot of money when finding wingers. He is that talented. And I would love to see him actually get a proper run out, 50, 60 minutes against a team in the SPL, at least to start with. Give him his opportunity to play. Let's see what he's got, because I'll tell you something, that pace will terrify defenders. I honestly think that McCausland has to be given the opportunity. He has to have the chance to play. And I'd love to see him start on Sunday. Now, look, Sunday comes around and it is a rather bizarre kickoff time at 12 o'clock on a Sunday after a Europa League game on Thursday. But that's where we're at. And then maybe you need to rotate some of the players. So if that's the case, Ross McCausland surely has to come in for an opportunity to play, because like I said, he has been fantastic. Now, where do you play him? How do you use him? Well, for me, you've got to play him on the right-hand side. So what does that mean in terms of that three behind Danilo? Well, that for me means McCausland, it means Cantwell, it means Seamer. You're honestly telling me you would get more out of Sam Lammers than you got out of Ross McCausland. Ross McCausland did more in the time that he was on than Sam Lammers did in the entire game. He's just a more quick, direct player. He's just a better all-round player. So, look, at the end of the day, I genuinely don't understand why you might pick Sam Lammers over him. He'd be the man I would drop, move Cantwell central, keep McCausland on the right. That, for me, is the best way forward. That is the way to keep this fast attacking direct football from Rangers. And what I'd love to see on Sunday. But you know what? It's up to Philippe Clement to pick the team. It's up to Philippe to decide the team. And who am I to question? He's done really, really well so far with his team selections. Really spot on, with the players he's picked, with the formations that he's used in these games. Well, guys, let me know what you think of the stories we've covered this morning in our quick, short video this morning. We'll be back with another story later. I've got some more videos planned for later in the day. Thank you so much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. And on the way out, as always, two things, guys. Number one, smash the like. Number two, remember always, we are the people.